Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own Memorydex cards, and in this video I'm also going to be showing you a little bit of my layering process because I've had some questions on that. So let's get started. You might want to grab something to eat because this video might end up pretty long. I'm going to show you the dimensions for a Memorydex card because I didn't really have any in my stash, so I'm going to show you how to make these from Project Life cards or just scraps of paper that you have, and then I'm going to show you my layering process as well. So this is one that I made. Hopefully this one prepared me a little bit on how to show you the process. I also want to show you guys just some ideas of what to use in your projects to layer, because when I'm watching videos like this I'm like, oh yeah, why don't I pull that out of my stash and use it? So yeah, I'm going to show you a couple different sizes and let's just get started and we'll see how it goes. So you can use a 3x4 Project Life card, you can use a 4x4 Project Life card, so like right here and right here, these are 4x4s. It just depends on what size of Memorydex card you want. So I actually am doing a couple different sizes, I'm doing both. So it's up to you on what size of Project Life card you want, or you can just cut a piece of paper that's 3 inches by 4 inches or 4 by 4 inches. And I have the dimensions here for you. I also, if you happen to have, like, I just randomly had these in my stash because I wanted to use these as envelopes. These are old Heidi Swap Memorydex card envelopes that I got on clearance at some point, so I actually was using this as my template. But I measured the holes so we can talk about how you make your own card from scratch real quick, I hope. Let's see. If this video is like 30 minutes long, I apologize and we'll just roll with it, right? So I put the dimensions on here, but what you want to do is you want to take your template card, which is what I'm making right now, and you want to stick your ruler on here and mark off 1.5 and 2.5 inches. So here's my 1.5 line and here's my 2.5 inch line. And then what you want to do is measure 1/4 inch up. So I turn my card sideways, and on each end I'm going to measure at 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to draw a line between those two. So that's my 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to draw a line down from these guys, so just make sure your ruler is straight. And draw lines vertically. So, oh, I got some marks on my table. Cool. I'll erase them later. So what you are going to want to do is take a hole punch and punch exactly where those two lines meet. And my hole punch is really hard to see this, so bear with me. Hopefully you have a hole punch that you can see through. But if you do mess this up, like I just did, it's not that big of a deal. You could just make another one and start over. But those are my two holes. If you don't like where they're placed, like I probably wouldn't use this as my template, but I'm just showing you guys, I would just repunch them. And then you want to cut little notches around that center line. And let's see, I'll measure how big this is for you guys. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch, or maybe 1/16, I don't know. I just cut some little notches in there. So if you can see, my holes line up pretty well with the Maggie Holmes template. So that's how you make your own little Project Life template card, and then you use this when you're punching out future cards. And then, yeah, you have a little template, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't have the Memorydex die, at least not right now. So that's how you make one on your own, or if you have something that is already cut, then you can use that as your reference point on the bottom for the holes. So that's how you do that part. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of my layering process. So here's one that I already made. I'm going to be using the Willow Lane collection, but the cards that I'm using are just Project Life cards from my stash. And if you don't like the squared corners, you can use a corner rounder on these and make them nice and round. Like this Project Life card is already rounded, so it just depends on your preference as far as that goes. So I'm going to be using a 4x4 card and a 3x4 card, but this is actually a 4x6 card, and you can fold it in half and then use your template and make a cute little folder. You could put a tab up here. I probably won't be doing a tab in this video because I don't have any close to me, but you could put a little tab up here and use it as a little file folder to store like little notes, or you could put a piece of ephemera or a decorated card in here and then put it into your Memorydex, and it will just sit with little bits and pieces in it. So I'm going to be decorating the front of these two guys today. I'll show you a little bit of my process. I guess I'll maybe a little bit start out with stuff that I might use just so you have an idea of things to use. So I always pull some scraps from the collection that I'm working with. So I pulled out these because they're contrasting to the two cards that I'm using. I just like a mix of colors. And then I'll grab some punches. So I just randomly grabbed this 1.5" scallop circle punch out of my stash. But you can use any sort of punches that you have just to make use of them and try to use up some of your papers. I like to do this so I don't use like all my die cuts on one card, but it also gives it some dimension while you're working. So you can use little die cut pieces. I have some tulle that I'm using, so I just got this spool of black tulle that I have. I'm using some of this really cool like mesh ribbon. I don't even know what it's called. Let's see if yeah, mesh ribbon. Good guess. So this is from the Dollar Tree. I wish I would have got like 50 million spools of this because I freaking love this for adding texture to projects. It's really pretty on rosettes as well. And then I grab like bits and pieces from the line that I'm working with, usually like die cuts. But if you don't have like certain scrapbook lines, I also have like just this mix tray of die cut pieces that I have near me, and it coordinates with all sorts of stuff. I have trims, so all sorts of trims that I may use while I'm doing this. I also have like a mixed set of die cuts and like bits and pieces that could go with anything really. And then I'm going to be using some of the stickers from the collection, maybe some of the puffy stickers. Basically just grab anything you think that might add texture. So like I said, the tulle or the ribbon or doilies are a good one. Crepe paper is a good thing to use. I even have these wood veneers that I actually colored because I was like, I'm never going to use these probably just as they are as the wooden color. So I took some paint pens and colored on some wood pieces. Let's see, what else do I have? I just have lots of trims. I have my box of like enamel stickers to pull from if I want to. And then I have like paper flowers nearby. And then I have just random stuff from other collections to use if I want to. Really, the possibilities are endless. You could use, I have resin pieces over here that you guys can also probably see. So, enough rambling. I'm just going to get started and decorate and hopefully show you guys this process without rambling on for 20 years. And I like to exaggerate when I talk, obviously. So, first thing I'm going to do is focus on this one, I think. So, I kind of picked out some stuff that matched sort of beforehand, so I wasn't scrambling as much, but these are just some random bits and pieces that I've got. So I've got some die cuts, I've got this little mesh, a doily, and then like a paper scrap, and then a piece of paper, and then this is my card. So what I like to start with is a big piece of paper, so I'm going to cut this down. This is from the Willow Lane 6x8 paper pad. I don't actually have very many of the larger papers. So I'm going to cut this, and honestly, I just estimate what I'm cutting. There's no precision to this. whatsoever. It's probably a good idea to try to, if there's a focal point on the paper, grab some of that while you're cutting, but I kind of just want it for the red contrast in this case. And then I'm gonna just stick a doily on here, and obviously if it's hanging off you can cut it off at the end, so I'll move it down there so the doily is peeking out from behind this paper. On this one, if you're using like a big die cut, so like on this one, I kind of put the die cut in the center first and then start adding pieces underneath. But on this one, I'm going to put a word, I think. So I'm not putting my die cut down yet. I'm just going to start and stick the doily and this piece of paper down. So for doilies, I like to just use wet glue because it's hard to use hot glue or a tape runner or anything to get between all these little pieces. So I'm using Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. So I'm just going to stick that to where the doily is mostly on here, but I like to do it where I can cover up any of the like cut portions of the doily. And then for this piece of little paper, I'm just going to use my tape runner. Alright, and right now I'm going to trim this little extra bit off. So there's my base, and then I wish I had nearby something to put this on as an example. I'm going to make sure, like a clear piece of acetate, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. I am going to make sure that this word actually is going to fit on my card. And it's going to be close. So I think I'm going to use this love word instead. And I was looking just now at the stuff I laid out and I wasn't even using this. So what I'm going to do is try to shove it underneath here. So I'm going to stick some hot glue. I'm going to cut it in half because it's kind of big for what I want to use it for as far as the placement goes. So I'm going to stick some hot glue underneath here because I don't really know what else to use for this like ribbon style stuff. And then I just kind of wedge it in there. So see how that adds some nice texture. And it goes pretty nicely with these stickers because they're both like shiny gold instead of a matte gold. Or glittery, I guess, instead of matte. So these stickers that I'm using are actually from the Maggie Home Shine collection, and I got them at Tuesday Morning a week or two ago, if you're wondering where these are from. So I'm going to stick, let's see, I have this little die cut as well. So yeah, I like how that looks, so I'm going to stick this die cut down before I stick that word down. And if this were a different color, I would probably use it, but obviously it's going to blend in. Like I would shove it underneath this red paper, but it's the same color, so I'm probably not going to do that. This guy looks a little weird, so I'm not going to use that either. So I'm going to stick my love down here. So that's a pretty good base, I think. And now I'm going to embellish it a little bit and maybe add a piece from the actual Willow Lane collection just to, you know, show that it's from the Willow Lane collection. So I've got all these stickers on this 6x12 sheet. Let's see. Some of these are kind of large. I like this little crown, but it's yellow and there's already quite a bit of gold. Let's see. I'm not loving anything from that, so let me see. I actually really like these butterflies, which I stuck one on here as well. These are from, oh man, these are from Hobby Lobby if you're looking for them. So I'm going to stick that guy right there, I think. And I keep trying to use these little bows, but they haven't worked out just like I want them to yet. Oh, and I think this would be really cute to stick Hello Love right here, so I'm going to do that with these puffy stickers from this collection. And I think actually the blue is the prettiest one, so I'm going to do that guy. And with my puffy stickers, sometimes I'll just use them with the adhesive that they come with, but because I'm putting them on this ribbon, I added some hot glue. And then I'm just gonna kind of hold that in place. I'm trying to decide if there's anything else that I want to add. Maybe I'll stick a couple puffy hearts down in this corner. What do you guys think? I think that that is pretty much good. So that's my first little Memorydex card. And then I'll do one more. This video is not too long yet, so I expected it to be really long, so let's see how long it ends up. So there's my first one. And then this one, again, this is just a really random Project Life card I had. I think it was actually 4x6, and then I cut off the ends and then used my template to make it into a Memorydex card. So the paper that I grabbed to use with this is this really pretty, like, purpley. This reminds me of like the 60s wallpapers and stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen the Willow Lane collection worked with a lot lately, but I haven't really had the chance to. So I thought I would pull it out for this video. So again, I just kind of estimate. I'm like, okay, I know that I have a 4x4 card and I like a horizontal piece a lot of the time, so I cut it slightly shorter than 4 inches. And maybe I will grab another piece of paper to layer underneath of this one. So how about I grab some of this red that I have left over. And I'll just cut it down to 1 inch by close to 4. So my process is kind of grab some papers. I often will grab a big die cut and then something to add some texture. So I'm going to figure out how to place this doily down. It's a little bit bigger than I want. So I might just go like that. I'm covering up most of the doily, but I think that's okay. I think that's pretty cute. Okay. So then I have to remember how I layered those on. So again, I'll use my liquid glue. And stick this kind of in the upper left. And then I want to cover this border, so I'll use some of this red paper for that. And also this pink one. So let me know if you guys like this style of video. I'm always worried that it's going to be too long and people aren't going to be interested. But I like to watch craft with me and process videos, so hopefully you guys do too. I've had quite a few requests for them, so I'm going to shove this guy underneath here just to add a little bit of texture. So that's one of the scallops that I cut out of this blue paper. Now what? Oh, I was gonna add some crepe paper or some tulle, and I didn't add the tulle yet, but luckily I just used a tape runner for this. So I'm going to add this tulle that I cut underneath, because this is all pretty light colored. Every layer is really light except for this blue. So I want to add some black tulle to this. So again, I'm just going to put some hot glue where I know my die cut's going to be to hold the tulle down. So I kind of just set the tulle there, and then I use my die cut to firm up that and hold it in place. So see how that adds some nice texture. And then I'm just gonna trim my doily. Now I think it's a little bit bare on the bottom, so I'm gonna find some trim to stick along the bottom here. This is my favorite trim lately. They had it on super clearance at Michael's, so it was $5, but then it was 70% off, and then it went to 90% off if it was still at your Michael's. I think I got mine when it was 70% off, but that's still a really nice deal. And this stuff makes a mess when you cut it because of all these little pieces, so if you have this, try to cut it over your garbage can. So I'm going to add that at the bottom to get even more texture. And the nice thing about like ribbon and stuff is that it doesn't add a lot of bulk. So if you're trying to keep your mail flat, this is a nice way to do that with still adding texture. So I'm going to use some hot glue and stick this down. Be super careful when you like press it down because ribbon usually isn't like solid, so you might get some hot glue on your fingers if you do that. So this is how it looks so far. I'm going to trim these edges real quick, and you could wait till the end to trim everything. I just like to see how it looks as I'm going. Okay, I think we are almost done. I'm going to look for another piece from the Willow Lane collection to add maybe up here. So, and I think I want to keep it flat, so hopefully I have a sticker that I can put over there. I really like this teacup, and I like contrasting colors, so I think that teacup will look really cute in the corner here, or this bird. So I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how I make choices while I'm doing this. So I think I'm going to use this, and I might try to fit this leafy guy in as well. So let's see. I'm probably going to have to hot glue this down because I have that tool right there. And then, let's see, I'm not sure if I like the teacup. Maybe the unicorn. Or bird. I think I like the bird the best. So I'm going to hot glue both of these stickers down just so they don't move, because I'm kind of nervous with the tool that they will move. So there's my little leaf, if I can stick it on there, and it's kind of peeking out, adding some texture. And now all I really want to do is add some like enamel dots or puffy stickers. So let me try to find some of those from my stash. You could also use these beads, like these are flat back beads from Hobby Lobby, and I should probably use them because I got them and there's so many. So let me see what I think matches. I think I might actually want to use some of these yellow ones. I don't know, it doesn't actually look that yellow, but I think that's because it's reflecting. So that's yellow. Like I said, I just like to use contrasting colors. That blue is pretty, but it makes it kind of look like there's a lot of blue. Let's go with yellow, I think. So you can put your dots in whatever orientation you like. I know some people are really particular about how they put these on. I'm generally not, but I usually do at least 2 or 3 in a little cluster. And I just remembered I was trying to keep this flat, but that's okay. Let's see, do I like 3? Yeah. Excuse my super dirty hot glue gun also. Alright, I think that's pretty much good. I'm going to add a couple more in this corner too. And I'm almost out of hot glue, so hopefully I can make it to the end. Oh my gosh, you guys, these nails do not make it easy to add this type of thing to projects. But they're so pretty that I have to wear them. Oh no. Okay, definitely just got the top with that one. So we're gonna grab a new one. And stick it on. And now I've got to get all my little pieces of hot glue off. Okay, so that I think is it. Oh, I need to trim this piece of paper. You don't have to, and you can have as many bits and pieces hanging off of your card as you want, but I'm just trying to keep these right to the 4x4 size, so I'm going to trim that guy off. So I think that's it, everyone. I hope you like this little video on how I layer in my projects. I can do more of these if you want. There's a lot of stuff in my stash that I didn't use. Shoot, I'm gonna have to hot glue those down after this video. You could use Wink of Stella to add a little bit of glitter to some of this, which I might do after this video. I did not use any of these little paper flowers. There's all sorts of stuff, more different trims that you can use, whatever. So I'm going to end my video here, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you aren't, and if you like my videos, and let me know what else you want to see. Have a good night. Bye.